Well, all the votes for the Senate, the election votes have been totaled up and the results finally declared, and big surprise, One Nation is a huge winner. Before the election, it had 2 senators, Pauline Hanson, of course, and Malcolm Roberts. Now it has 2 more. There's former Army officer and hostage negotiator Warwick Stacey from New South Wales, and Tyrone Witten, who has an earthworks and construction business in Western Australia. That means One Nation now has as many senators as the Nationals, 4. And the Nationals should be getting nervous about this competition. Joining me is One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. Pauline, congratulations with your success. What does it tell you?
Thank you. Well, I must be doing something right, Andrew, and I'm connecting with the Australian people. Look, we put out very good policies in February leading into the election to explain to people what we wanted to do. And people are moving away from the major political parties. They want someone who's actually listening to them, can understand what is happening in Australia. Now, we've been pushing for a lot of things. Remember, I was the first one that came out against the Voice. The Nationals followed about 2 weeks later, the Liberals about 4 or 5 months after that. Even to do with the COVID-19, I was the first one to come out and oppose it. We've been on about that, to have a Royal Commission into it, to explain where we went wrong with that. A lot of things that we've been standing up for rural and regional areas and fighting for those people. So the Nats haven't really looked after their rural and regional areas, I don't believe, to the best of their ability. Like, I opposed putting that supercritical waste into the Great Artesian Basin, and Susan McDonald, the National Senator for Queensland, she looked across the chamber and said, I don't agree with you on this one. And thank goodness that the Labor Party in Queensland pulled it out and stopped it from happening before the court case went ahead. So, you know, there's things that we've been fighting for. People have seen the fight that we've taken up to them, especially with net zero. We're totally opposed to that. Get out of the Paris Agreement. So the things that we're connecting with the Australian people.
Well, it's interesting because if you repeat anything like the success in the next election, given that 3-year senators now are there for 6 years, so 2 election cycles, you'll be up in the next election. That's 4. You're guaranteed to win. That would, if you get a couple more, you will be bigger than the Nationals. You'll have party status in the Senate, extra resources, extra officers. What should the Nationals think looking at you?
Look, Andrew, you said that I'll win my seat. I don't take that for granted at all, and I don't count my chickens before they hatch. We've got to prove to the Australian people now that for the next 3 years, we must prove to them that their vote is not wasted. It's about holding the government and the opposition to account and calling them out for when they do it wrong. And we need to put forward good, sensible policies and solutions. It's no good sitting there whinging about anything, Andrew. You've always got to follow through with policy and what would you do differently. And I think that's what's important about it. We've just got to prove to the Australian people that we do have common sense policies. We're not extremists. We're not too far to the right. I think we're more of a centrist party. But we need to get back the economy, productivity of the nation. We've got it as the big thing now is defence, and having Warwick there with his background in defence, I think it's very important. He'll be the only one on the floor of Parliament, I believe, with the experience and knowledge that he has to start asking questions on the floor of Parliament and explaining what's happening. So, you know, Malcolm's been fantastic on climate change. No one can come anywhere near him with his experience and knowledge in that regards. And of course, Tyrone has that background where he and his brother employed 1,000 people. So that business background dealing with, you know, industries and also the mining sector. So I bring forward to the Parliament a team of people who are not just yes people, but people with experience and knowledge that I think can improve what we have to offer in the Parliament and to the people of Australia.
Now, you've mentioned climate change twice. The net zero target in particular has got to go. Now, I started at the top of this show pointing out there's been one consequence of, you know, dotting the countryside with these wind farms is the fire risk. I started at the top of the show pointing out there's been another fire started by a wind generator, this time in the Wimmera last week. Are you worried that wind generators could be a fire hazard out bush?
Most definitely they are, and it's proven that it is happening. And they wanted to put some around the Gympie area and 290 metres tall. these wind turbines. That's what the Labor Party wanted to do. I hope that the coalition government in Queensland is going to get rid of the LNP in Queensland. They are not only that to the flora and fauna, clearing, forest, pristine rainforests that are being cleared to put these atrocities up. I've got no time for them whatsoever. And the cost of building this is more on the climate and the emissions they take than what we get out of it in saving in energy costs, which is costing us, billions of dollars to put up transmission lines. It's a joke. It really is a joke. And the people of Australia need to wake up to this and understand. And come the next election, 3 years' time, I hope that they do not give the Labor government another term, because we're going to be taxed to the hilt to try and pay for this. You're going to be living in poverty, and you won't have the productivity in this nation. We'll lose industries and manufacturing. The cost in the ordinary household, small businesses are going under because of rising cost of electricity. We've got to wake up to ourselves, and hopefully I'll keep raising these issues, asking questions, and show the government up for what they are, nothing but hypocrites and liars to the Australian people.
Pauline Hanson, let me congratulate you again on your big win in the Senate races.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.